Liverpool are about to make big bid to sign amazing World Cup star. Liverpool are preparing to make what has been described as a monster bid for World Cup winner Enzo Fernandez. The midfielder reportedly caught the attention of Liverpool before the tournament even started. And now, according to journalist Gianluca Di Marzio, the Reds are ready to make the next move. Despite half of Europe wanting Fernandez, Liverpool allegedly took the lead. They are said to be ready to get serious with the 21-year-old by making a big offer to Benfica. The numbers behind the proposal are not yet clear. But what is stated is that the player is very eager to join the Reds. Fernandez is currently reportedly putting Liverpool above all other interested clubs. This seems like a pretty big improvement from a source that tends to be very well connected in the transfer market. In recent weeks, Liverpool's interest and rumours of Fernandez have also increased. His stakes have never been higher, with the midfielder winning the Young Player of the Tournament at the World Cup. Even Lionel Messi described him as amazing. The windows were gone, the kind of thing that would put Liverpool off completely. But now, it looks like the Reds are ready to attack quickly to fend off other clubs. It is not yet clear what Liverpool's monster bid will be. We mentioned earlier that Fernandez has a release clause of over £100 million. Yesterday, Fabrizio Romano stated that he expects Benfica to resist to pay for this clause in full. But a lower deal can be reached given that Liverpool have pretty good relations with the Portuguese club. Darwin Nunez had a similarly high clause last summer and the two teams were finally able to reach a compromise. The key part in the Nunez deal seemed to be the player's willingness to join Liverpool. There were other clubs that were also interested. However, the 23-year-old player wanted to move to Anfield. This undoubtedly led to the finding of a more acceptable solution. If Di Marzio is right, then Fernandez is similarly dizzy. From this point on, it seems pretty relieved that Liverpool are able to make a deal. In addition, at the press conference held for the Carabao Cup, Pep Lijnders made statements about Enzo Fernandez. He was quick to comment on a player Liverpool had repeatedly contacted during and after the World Cup. The assistant manager was asked about Argentina's success in Qatar and said, "What I love about Argentina is they play to their strengths. Rodrigo, for example, was like a sweeper behind Messi. If Messi is in, he goes out. If Messi is out, he goes in." Enzo and McAllister and Rodrigo de Paul showed how they manage the midfield very well, but these two in particular balance each other very well. If you look at Messi from 5 meters, you'll see something you've never seen before. Speed, and he was decisive in every attack they had. Of course, it was the beginning of many attacks with Enzo. Of course, the most attention from these comments is what is said about Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez will be a very useful transfer to Liverpool midfield. His progressive passes and the passes he sends into the opponent's penalty area are the kind that will strengthen the midfield feature that the Reds lack. Especially the pass success rate is definitely at a sufficient level for Liverpool. Klopp can use him in the middle duo or as one of the centre-inner players. Enzo creates a profile suited to these positions. Do you think Enzo Fernandez is the right transfer for Liverpool? Liverpool are after Gvardiol. Liverpool and Tottenham Hotspur want Josko Gvardiol, but may have to pay £96 million for the Leipzig defender. Sky Germany correspondent Florian Plettenberg claims that Gvardiol has a release clause in his contract. But this clause won't come into effect until the summer of 2024, which leaves Leipzig feeling pretty confident about keeping Gvardiol. Plettenberg claims there are good chances for Gvardiol to stay in Leipzig beyond the 2023 summer window. Recent news has claimed that Liverpool and Tottenham, as well as Premier League teams such as Manchester United and Manchester City, are interested in signing Gvardiol. This report suggests that Liverpool are confident that they will secure Gvardiol's signing, but have a belief that Leipzig will apparently stay in place. We can certainly understand why Liverpool and Tottenham were eager to sign Gvardiol. Fast, strong, uncompromising, confident in his relationship with the ball, reading the game great, and only 20 years old, Gvardiol looks like a complete defensive package. Gvardiol was simply phenomenal at the World Cup and was branded "very special" by Paul Merson, who was successful in Qatar. Gvardiol seems to be on his way to becoming one of the best defenders in Europe and eventually the world. Why shouldn't Liverpool and Tottenham be interested in such a player? Add in that Gvardiol is naturally a left-handed defender, something many managers want in the modern game. That's why you realize it's going to be big money. £96 million would be a club record for both Liverpool and Tottenham. We can usually describe them as two clubs that do not make the headlines for exaggerated purchases. Maybe a deal for Gvardiol would be a little more realistic if Liverpool had a new owner pumping money into the club. The fate of this transfer seems to be directly related to the discovery of potential new owners of Liverpool. Roberto Firmino's heir found. The Championship has become a happy hunting ground for Liverpool in recent years. Both this summer and last summer, it can be said that the Reds promoted one of the best young players in the Championship to the club's first team. In the summer of 2021, Jürgen Klopp took Harvey Elliott to the main team after a stunning spell on loan at England's second-tier Blackburn Rovers. Meanwhile, this summer Fabrizio Carvalho was brought in from Fulham after an even more impressive spell at the Championship. Liverpool looks promising from the beginning of his career so far. It is not yet clear whether the trend will repeat for the third time in a row. But whether it needs to be repeated is a little clearer. With Roberto Firmino's contract expiring and his future at Anfield uncertain, the club's hierarchy has already rolled up its sleeves to decide to part ways with the 31-year-old Brazilian and replace the roster with a younger player to prepare the team for the future. Liverpool's new contract negotiations with Firmino are not expected to prevent other names from joining the squad instead. That's why there's an ideal candidate for the Championship who plays in a wild but silky style similar to Firmino. Iliman Ndiaye is both technically talented and excels at putting pressure from the front to reinvigorate the position for his team, as Firmino has done at Anfield for years. He's been noted for contributing 13 goals in the Championship this season, and no one has more than Ndiaye. She is 22 years old and at the perfect age to take the next step in her career. After an impressive World Cup campaign for Senegal against Qatar in which he recorded an assist on the field just minutes later, Ndiaye maintained this stunning form at Sheffield United. Just days after being knocked out by England, he returned to the club and recorded a game-winning assist against Huddersfield. 9 days later, he did the same against Wigan. Both assists were not just simple passes. It also resulted from maze runs where Ndiaye shrugged a few players and ran a few meters into the opponent's penalty area before placing the ball on one of his teammates. Versatile enough to play in midfield and as a fake number 9, Ndiaye can play on either wing. Its versatility is something that will appeal to potential suitors and is definitely a feature that can be used at Anfield. Given the short duration of the young talent's contract, whose contract expires in 2024, it is anticipated that Liverpool will have a slight advantage in negotiations.